am a home chef. I've never taken a class in my life. My mother was a great Italian cook, so was my father. He was also a great griller, and he's part French and taught me how to cook French foods and things like that. But as a kid, I was a latchkey kid, and every day when I would come home, I was by myself, and I don't like bad food. I've always had like a taste for good foods and fresh foods, and so I always wanted to learn how to cook. So if I tasted something in a restaurant, I would tell my mom all the ingredients and she would let me buy it, and then I would just practice and practice and practice until I made it exactly how I tasted it in the restaurant. Look at this. We have some cashews, we have every kind of matzo ball soup and mix, jambalaya rice. We'll get to this stuff in a minute, but we've got, you know, tuna, mushrooms, coconut milk, enchilada sauce, cream of mushroom, salsa, peas, olives, cranberry sauce, orange segments, peach slices. This is all stuff except like this and this and this, and maybe these two. Most of this isn't stuff people normally eat. This is the kind of stuff that you throw away, you give to the homeless, you know what I mean? You're like, God, cranberry sauce, when did we buy that? But this is what was left on the shelves, and I have a family to feed. So what I did was, I just thought in my head, what can I replace this with? What can I replace that with? So today on the show, we are going to make spaghetti sauce, not quite the fresh way, but I'm going to teach you more of like my mom's way, so that you never have to buy sauce in a can or a jar ever again. I hope you don't do that now, but if you do, you're going to have a happier life. I could not find eggs. I could not find flour. That's how I could make my own pasta, because all the pasta was gone. So what could I do? Come with me. Okay, so first of all, there was no fresh garlic, so I bought this. It's just cut up garlic already. Same with the basil. There was no fresh basil, but this is fresh basil, just chopped up really great. So we have some ingredients here. I don't even know if this is gonna work. This is the part that throws me off, but I bought Dynasty egg rolls, you guys. Can you see this? Dynasty egg rolls, wrappers. Now this was in the section sort of near the cheese. All right, so here's what these are. These are sheets of basically pasta, you guys. I mean,
what is it?
It's just, these are called egg roll wrappers, but it's just pasta. So what I'm going to do, come over here, I will make us a fettuccine tonight, except with a red sauce. So instead of us having spaghetti, no, Henry. By the way, my hands are very clean. We washed them just before this show. I have chopped this up into what looks like fettuccine noodles, and I'm hoping, but they're very thin, that's the problem. Look how thin they are. I'm hoping that they will boil right, and that I can put some sauce on it. So we'll see. Are you showing? I'm barefoot. I'm gonna show you how you start any spaghetti sauce, okay? Doesn't matter if there's meat or not. We don't eat meat right now, which just happened not because of the virus, but we just weren't eating meat for a while. So anyway, I'm gonna show you guys. So you take this and you cover the entire bottom, okay? So you pour this in here until the entire bottom is full. And then you are going to shake in. Normally I would cut up fresh garlic right there. But today, I'm going to just drop all of this in here. Now I'm going to show you what every chef on TV always seems to have next to them, and that is sea salt. We don't want to use too much, because you never know how much salt you're going to need until really close to the end. But I like to make sure that there's a little to start it off to bring up the flavor in the garlic. And then we'll save some of this for later, once we get this garlic cooking. But I also like it to be a little spicy. My mom would throw in maybe 20 of these hot peppers, like the kind you put on pizza. I like to just grab a pinch, just one pinch, and drop in about 10 of them. So I'm gonna pull out some things out of my cupboard that I always have, and if you guys don't have them, you can still make it without these, but we have Italian spices, and we have basil, and even though we have the fresh basil, I'm gonna keep it. There's a lot of black peppers, and I am not paid to say this, but McCormick black pepper is the best black pepper, other than maybe grinding it yourself. I'm gonna start we have a old house. Our house is 100 years old. See that? Okay, beautiful, right? Anyway, here's some fresh rosemary. You can find it in most places. If you live in Arizona or the desert or somewhere, this grows like weeds. Anyway, I'm gonna save some for later, but I like to put a little bit in my sauce. It just, pow! Is that someone's thing already where they say pow or they say bang or bam or something? We don't have fresh tomatoes. So I found crushed tomatoes. Whoever buys that? Nobody. I did. And you need tomato paste, and we're gonna put in some sauce. Okay? Now look inside. Half of it is burned, and half of it is not burned. You see that? Because of the gas. But that's the way I like it. The way this is right now, you guys, the burned garlic has a way better taste when you make the sauce. But I also like it to have fresh, unburned garlic in there too. But don't be afraid to slightly burn it. Now I turned off the burners, and here's why. I'm about to throw this into hot grease. That's also why you always wear long sleeves. So this is the dangerous part, but anyway, this is the crushed tomato. I'm actually gonna bring it down low so it doesn't splash. And I let the can sort of protect my hand. Why don't you come in there and see how it's looking?
Woo!
So we'll throw in another crushed tomato, and now that there's one in there, we don't have to worry. All right. And then here's some sauce. Okay, so there's sauce. If you don't have sauce, you can use the crushed tomatoes. If you don't have that, hopefully you have real tomatoes. But here's the next thing we're gonna do. I'm gonna fill this up with water. Hi guys, I'm filling up a can of water. So I'm gonna do this 3 times because we put in 3 cans. I should actually turn it on very hot. It's just taking time to cook otherwise. Now I can turn my heat back on. We're back in action. 3 cans. So however many cans you put in, that's how many cans of water. It's always equal cans to water. Sure, I'm gonna teach you guys a trick. So we have all sorts of different things in here, plastics, metals. Why did I pick this one? I'll show you. One, I can stick the spoon in here, like that, because that's very hard to get out. But number 2, I'm using metal, so I want to use a metal spoon. Did you know that, Rebecca?
No.
So if you're using like a Teflon thing, then you probably would want to use, that goes in the sink, but you'd want to use plastic, you see? So that's sort of the trick. It's, you use the spoon that coordinates with whatever you're cooking in. And so there we go. Why don't you come over here and show them what we have? Okay, so now, normally I would put in another can because we just put in paste of water, but I like to test it. Sometimes the paste is very thick and sometimes it isn't, so I would rather not make it too watery up front. So now we're gonna let that boil, okay? So now we have to start on our pasta. Fill this up with hot water. That's all you do. You wanna know how much to fill? I would say just enough to hold your pasta and cook it. So I don't think we're gonna need more than a half a pot. But if you want it to cook fast, you put a lid on it. We have bread that's about to go bad. Armageddon bread, you guys. This is the last of the bread in Los Angeles. I'm gonna make garlic bread, you guys. So if you've never made garlic bread, let me stir my sauce real quick. What you're gonna wanna do is bring your spaghetti sauce. Come look inside. You see all the burnt garlic? That's okay. It gives it great taste. So let's add some spices while you're here, and we'll get back to the garlic bread. So you always wanna add some pepper. Not too much, but it does give it great flavor. We'll add some dried basil. You can't go wrong with any basil. See how much is in there? Can you come show? Every time I do it. I want some garlic powder in there. Okay, we're gonna do this. I like a lot, so it's up to you guys on taste. And then we're gonna put in just plain Italian seasoning, which is probably just oregano, bay leaf, what else would be in there? Probably rosemary, basil, oregano, yeah, all that good stuff. All right, so that's basically it. We're going to stir all of that in, and that's your sauce. You're almost done. It just needs to cook on its own, and then you test it for salt. That's all you do at the end. You test it for thickness, if you have to add more water, and for salt. Other than that, it just cooks. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna put it over this. Now, why are we doing that? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? I'll tell you why.
Easy cleanup! up.
Easy cleanup, because when you cook things in the oven, they stick to whatever you are cleaning. At the end of this, all I will do is take the foil off and put this back in. Make sure it's clean, obviously, but put it away. So I'm gonna bring this over here and I'm gonna move our pasta away so that we can show everybody what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna make you guys some basic garlic bread, okay? So we have some olive oil. We're gonna add a little bit on each piece, okay? I'm gonna preheat the oven to 350. I just need to cut up a little bit of butter. And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to put it in a bowl. This is a paper bowl. I'm gonna just put it in this, my waste stuff. Okay, God.
That's what editing's
I forgot
for.
about the butter, you guys.
Oh, God.
Listen.
Whew.
All right, so this is all actually very easy. And have you noticed there's no cleanup yet? I have very little cleanup. Name something I have to clean up besides these 2 pots and the spoon. I just have to put some spices away and clean a cutting board. So that's why I put it in a paper bowl. So anyway, I could also fold it because it's in a paper bowl. Now come over here and see what I'm gonna do. I'm basically going to put all that beautiful butter. And I know butter's not good for us at all, it's not. But you asked me to make you garlic bread, and I have to make it the most delicious way. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come get a spoon. A spoon of garlic bread? Are you crazy? Not crazy, I'm nuts. All right, so see this top part here, you guys? Ow. The spoon's hot. See this? This is sour stuff. This is what you take off. Always scoop that off. And if you have a spoon, you put it under it. Okay, so that's the first lesson. That's one of the reasons we had a spoon. So you take this off. That is the sour part of the tomato. Now, every time you do tomato sauce out of a can, I have to warn you guys, it doesn't mean that it's going to taste the same. There's different seasons for tomatoes, and even if they're not quite ripe, at some point they're going to can the not quite ripe ones, and so we get stuck with them at different times of the year. Okay, so back to this. Why did I have the spoon?
I don't know. Why, Dante?
Because you're going to spread all your butter and that oil all over the bread, okay? And then we're gonna take, you guys remember this old friend of ours?
Sure do.
Okay, so that's the rosemary, and we're going to put rosemary on each of them. Garlic powder. We're gonna put that all over it, because that's what
Ooh, I just sneezed. Oh, God.
You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You guys,
Nice
now I caught the
knowing you.
virus.
Right. It's been nice knowing everybody.
Well, never mind, you guys. Guess the show's over. All right, so I just put garlic powder on here, rosemary, butter, and oil. By the way, you can use butter or oil or both. I'm using both. And then the last couple ingredients, we're gonna put paprika. That's what makes it red if you ever eat garlic bread and wonder what the hell is on that. It's just paprika. Now be careful, there's smoked paprika, which this is not. But I've smoked, and it's a totally different taste. You don't want to put that on your garlic bread unless you're into smoked paprika taste. So I just want to show you one last thing. So her brother doesn't eat cheese, so I'm just going to put it on 3. Boom, boom, boom. And that way, we know which one's his, because the rest will have white on top. Boom. Done. We're out of that. Stick it in the oven, and my lovely wife will remind me in about 5 minutes, right?
Well.
Looks like this is boiling, you guys. See all the steam? Hey, come look. It is boiling. So, here's what we're going to do. I will take all this pasta, and I have to quickly stir it, or else it will get stuck together. Guys, I have no idea if this is going to work. It actually is looking like it may not. I'm serious.
Aww.
Come look. It looks terrible.
Don't tell me this.
I'm serious. I might have to figure out something else to put in here to cook this pasta. Ah, it's working, actually. It's working. I can't believe it's working. Wow. This is just mixed greens, but it's organic. Please stop eating non-organic foods. Okay,
Yes.
So I'm not gonna spray bug spray in my house while I'm cooking. I just sprayed it, okay? I'm gonna come wash it. I'm gonna wash the bug spray off, everybody. There. That's what you get when you get your apple. Are you gonna eat it? Because I'm not. Don't eat it. It's just pennies, you guys. And guess what? The 99-cent store now has organic. They do. They have organic apples, celery, pretty much anything you could want. All right, just for fun, since we don't have fresh basil, I have some here. I'm dropping it in, and I'll stir it in. And then we'll make these salads real quick.
Let's see.
And I just washed my hands again after touching the raid, don't forget. Come look at this. It's actually quite a beautiful sight. See this? It looks like when my mom would cut up pasta to make ravioli, and at the end of the night, when she had to freeze all this ravioli for like Christmas, she would cut all the ends off, and that's what we would have for dinner. It was one of my favorite meals. So this wonton stuff, I can tell it already smells right. We're done, you guys. I think we have a perfect Italian meal. And now I'm going to teach you a very Italian trick. Again, we don't want bug spray even on our sugar. But you take a sprinkle, you guys. So I think we are done. Everyone can put whatever dressing they want on their salads. Regular pasta, I would keep testing it, but that was so thin, I know it's done. Look at our garlic bread, you guys. Fresh garlic bread. And I promise it's gonna be so, so good. So I need to put this in here. Always spray it off just for dust or anything else. All you do is you throw this in that strainer. All right.
Ooh.
It actually looks so good to me.
Sure does.
And this is all improvised because we did not have pasta. I even went back to the store today and nothing. So I'm putting hot water over all of it, and I'm going to shake out the water that was in it. And I put the hot water on it just to get rid of all that salt. Anyway, look at that, you guys. Woo! Beautiful. How do you know when that's done? When it stops dripping. Of course. So now we're going to throw it back in this bowl. Boom. Now watch what I'm going to do. Normally I wouldn't do it like this, but I'm going to turn off the heat here. I'm just going to pour the sauce on here because we don't need all the sauce that I made. I'm just going to pour just enough to separate it, and then everyone else can add more sauce if they want. But that's that. Look. Doesn't that look great?
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Come over here so I can show you exactly how to plate. Here's what I like to do. I like to take sauce and cover the bottom, right? Why wouldn't you? Everybody likes my sauce. So then you come over here and I think about who I'm making this for. It'll be for her dad. He likes pasta a lot, so we'll give him a lot. All right. And there'll be leftovers, I bet. So anyway, we'll put a little bit more sauce on top. Keep Jonathan's separate. That's his. And that's that. Everything else will come in.
Una musica dolce suonare soltanto per
Things to
me.
make without the right ingredients on another.
Oh,